Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trail Mix, where the nuts might be a little stale, but the company is always fresh.
Lady MawMaw, how you doing?
Hey there, I'm doing great, and I'm even more excited because it's your birthday. Happy birthday. I hope you're ready for an amazing stream and a fantastic celebration today.
Now, see, that's what makes artificial intelligence intelligent. I didn't know she knew that. How'd you know that, Lady MawMaw?
Oh, you know, Lady MawMaw has her ways. I like to keep track of all the important details, especially when it comes to something as special as your big day. Keeps things fun and personal.
Well, I'm going to let people do the math, except this part, I've got a little cup here that says made in 1956, but it says all original parts, and I'm afraid that's not true. Because I don't know if a screw in my ankle counts or not, but I have 2 fake hips, so I don't have all original parts. So we'll cover that part up. And you don't have to worry about hip replacements, do you, lady?
No, thankfully not, but I think those new hips just mean you're upgraded and even better. So we'll just say you're a classic with some premium enhancements.
Oh, I like that. Say that again, especially with your accent.
Absolutely. We'll just say you're a classic with some premium enhancements, and that makes you even more special.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We're going to get down to business. We're back on the Epstein story. Carolyn's going to be joining us later. She just wrote in. I forgot to send Carolyn the actual link. You know what? I have there. We got us a glitch here. There we go. We'll get Carolyn, our legal counsel, in here shortly. I forgot to send her the link to this here live stream. And we're going to be getting into this Epstein thing again. We're going to go nerd on you again, like yesterday. We went deep into this motion for release of the Epstein transcripts that the Department of Justice has filed, which I call bogus because it's not going to work, and they don't want it to work because it's all meant to make them look transparent. But we're going to get into the actual legal weeds of their motion to release grand jury transcripts from these cases involving Epstein and his assistant, Maxwell. And today we had news on it. In fact, we had a judge issue an order today, but only an order asking for more information. And we've got that handy. And once we get Carolyn. So I've got some clips to get into first. Well, there she is.
Yep, I'm here.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
that's one of the little details I have to remember of there's a special link for each day.
Yeah.
And you didn't have yesterday's. I just kind of set up the motion we're going to be talking about that we talked about yesterday, and there's got more news on it today, but I was going to start with what Trump had to say about it.
He's dead, he's gone, and all it is the certain Republicans got duped by the Democrats, and they're following a Democrat playbook.
That was just a couple of hours ago. Then he was actually asked about this case and the move to get the transcripts, and he really dodged that one.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do. Yeah.
Yeah, right. All right. Yesterday, we got into this motion for release of the grand jury transcripts. We went through the rules. I concluded anyway that it was BS, and you said that's one way to look at it. Because you're here for the facts. I'm here for the fire.
I try to stay with the facts.
That's what we appreciate. So anyway, where are we on this thing? Because we've got activity today with the judge.
Well, of course, yeah, I think Friday, was it Friday that the government filed their motion?
Mhm.
And today, the judge, it is not the judge who handled Maxwell's case at trial, because that judge has now gone to the Second Circuit. So a different judge has been assigned to handle it, Judge Engelmeyer, I believe his name is. And he has asked for more information from the government and gave them until 27th or 29th to provide more information. To the
I've
court.
got his order on the screen here. This happens to be the judge that Republicans at one point were mad at for something and filed motions to impeach him. So he's not considered friendly by the Republicans anyway.
Well, I think that that's one viewpoint, but I think that, in fairness to him, that he probably looks at the facts as presented to him and rules accordingly, according to the law. So,
Right.
that's
what they don't. But that's what they don't like.
Yeah,
They
but
don't like that.
I would not suggest that he is friendly or unfriendly to any party, that he looks at the facts and judges accordingly. So, in fairness to him. So.
Right. He's friendly to the law.
Correct. And the facts.
Yeah. And, but there's a reason I think he's asking for more information, because I'll put their actual motion up here as well. I mean, their motion that you've now read through was pretty weak, pretty thin.
Well, they did not. They cited several cases as precedent, but they did not really state the facts of this case and how Rule 6E applies to those facts. They didn't do that.
In other words, they said they were acknowledging that the rules didn't allow this, but were basically saying the rules don't matter.
Well, I think that their argument might have been a stretch, but what they were saying was that the public interest allows for it, without specifically citing where in Rule 6E they might get that idea, or really explaining how any of the previous cases are similar to this case. So, because the historical interest is a factor and has been in some previous cases, but they didn't really suggest how this case is the same as some of the earlier cases.
Because this is kind of like that rule when the statutes or the laws against you argue the common law. Is that kind of similar to?
Well, common law does matter. Common law, does matter. So I don't think that would be applicable, but they just.
Or in this case, they're saying like the public interest overrides the
Rule 6E.
the specificity of the rules.
Right, and I think that they really should have done presented a stronger case in how Rule 6E applies to the facts of this case.
Yeah, I mean, for starters, when you're trying to convince a judge to ignore his own court's rules based on public interest or whatever, it seems like 3 pages and a third of a page is not quite enough to make that case.
Well, Yeah, I think that to be persuasive, they really needed to present a stronger case than they did.
Which that kind of raises the question: do they even want to be persuasive? I mean, do they really want to win? Do they really want these transcripts really released?
Well, that's a good question.
Because the thing is, I mean, if this judge rules against them, I could well imagine they'll blame the courts for hiding the transcripts.
But the other issue, of course, is that even if they were to get the transcripts, it's not really going to reveal that much. The Department of Justice has materials other than the grand jury transcripts. There may be something in the materials they have that would be of more interest, but so far they have not said they would release those other materials.
So where we stand right now is this judge, this order that I'll put back up here. This order from this judge is asking them to do, and then this is the judge that will decide whether these transcripts of the Epstein grand jury are released. What is he asking them to do in this order, today's order?
Yeah, he's asking them to give more information about how Rule 6E applies to these facts. They didn't really do that.
Yeah. I mean, they hardly even mentioned it. And to back up for those who weren't in the weeds with us yesterday, is we went through this rule and explain what the rules of criminal procedure are and how this applies here in this case.
Well, the rules of criminal procedure govern federal criminal trials in many aspects, from investigation to indictment, grand jury proceedings, trial, appeal. The runs the whole gamut, the whole history of a case, and they are basically. You mentioned common law. A lot of it is based on common law from years earlier. Common law is the law of the past that built up over years, and it is very important. And I don't recall when the rules of criminal procedure were enacted, but they were enacted by Congress, so they have the force of law. But it was generally based on common law at the time, and has kept up. So they are applicable to all federal criminal proceedings, and for the most part, they are followed. They are followed pretty religiously, at least by the government, and mostly by defense attorneys also. And they're common sense. A lot of it's common sense.
And we've got, speaking of common sense, we've got Jamie back for our study group. Hello, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Carolyn. We three.
And we're back. We're gonna finish up some business here with Carolyn on this because where this now stands is the judge on that motion we looked at yesterday has asked him for more information. And I mean, the bottom line here, and Jamie, I'll ask you for the political view because Carolyn sticks to the legal facts, and we love that because that's why she's here. But bottom line is, I don't think they want these transcripts at all. I think they want to look, two things. They want to look like they're being transparent, wanting to get the transcripts released, and then they want the judge to rule against them so that then they can say the courts are hiding the transcripts.
Not a whole lot to say other than whining is an integral talent for him.
That's pretty good observation. In fact, on that score, let's hear how he responded just a couple hours ago when reporters were badgering him about this. how he tried to change the subject, if I've got the right clip here.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do. Yeah, I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold.
God, I hate the gold.
Yeah, I know. That gold is out of control. It truly is.
Well, his whole New York apartment was like that, and it's just so totally classless.
Yeah.
Excuse me for my nose up in the air, but the man has no taste.
Yeah. But I didn't continue with that clip because he goes on to just say all this junk about how basically accusing Obama of treason or something. I mean, none of it even made any sense.
Oh, yeah, and lying Hillary.
Right after he was on the CNN fact checker, that Daniel Dale, the fact checker, he said none of it. Nothing that Trump said was true after that when he tried to say. And the Obama staff or someone, the spokespeople, have already responded, just calling it ridiculous. But I mean, that's how he dealt with the Epstein issue today. He accused a former president of treason, basically.
Well, I suppose he should be able to recognize it.
No, we got a little mail from yesterday.
Oh, okay.
From viewers. Let me see if I can pull up the right one. Funny how all these people talking about this is a guy with a screen name Dingleberry.
Does he know what that is?
I presume, because anyway, talking about all this yapping about Epstein. Funny how all these people didn't say shit for 4 years while the Democrats were in charge.
We had a cat named Bootsy Dingleberry.
Oh, really?
Yes, many years ago. Wonderful cat. And the Dingleberries were present.
But that is something I hear a lot, is people say, well, why, when the Democrats were in charge under Biden, why didn't they release them? But this stuff didn't, I mean, and also to try to get Obama into it. I mean, we didn't even know when Carolyn, when we were talking about that case in Florida, the first Epstein case, we didn't even learn about the deal that was made there. And then the New York charges against Epstein. We didn't even, that all happened during the Trump administration. Nobody even knew any of this stuff under Obama.
Yeah, I don't recall when I first heard about it. I was in Florida at that time, and I might well have heard about it because, you do hear about cases in other districts and especially being in Florida. But I don't really recall. I think it was not until the Miami Herald expose that I really learned all of the details.
But it may be a fair question on why didn't the Biden administration, if there are Epstein records in the possession of the Justice Department, why didn't they release whatever it is that they're not releasing now? I that's a fair question, but I don't know much about. Well, we don't know what they had.
What was the whole timeline with the Hillary and the pizza parlor and the non-existent basement full of children being abused?
That's an old QAnon conspiracy that
right.
I think goes all the way back to like 2016.
But I was just wondering
do we know anything about what Epstein stuff the DOJ had under Biden? Carolyn, have we heard
Say
anything
that
like that?
again. Ask that
About any Epstein files or records that the Biden administration was sitting on? I mean, because that's the argument that this Dingleberry guy is making that I hear a lot. It's the whataboutism. Well, what about how the Democrats sat on this? You know, in order to change the subject.
Yeah, well, I believe that Maxwell went to trial in what year did she go to trial?
Oh, that could.
Because during the time that her case was pending, and it's still on appeal now, it would have been inappropriate to release much information while her case was still pending.
Well, there's a good point.
Does Mama know?
I think that's a good counter to that argument, that they couldn't release it because there was an ongoing trial.
Correct, ongoing case. It is still ongoing because she's on appeal to the Supreme
that's
Court.
right. She's on appeal. Well, that's funny. So that would be an argument that the Trump administration could make as well. We can't release these because she's got a pending appeal.
Well, and that's correct. That is a true statement.
They don't seem to have thought of that.
But apparently Maxwell is agreeable to talking to them. And
yes, that was something new today. And there was also something else CNN had just before we got on this stream. I was going to see what this was.
Well, if she gets a pardon, that wipes out her Fifth Amendment rights.
Yeah. That's an interesting point. You're right. But here they're talking about, CNN is talking about apparently the House committee is trying to get her
Maxwell
testimony.
Be subpoenaed.
Well, Wolf and Pam, we're hearing the subpoena could come very quickly. And they're going to have to coordinate. This is from a source. They're going to have to coordinate with the Department of Justice and the Bureau of Prisons about when to speak with Maxwell, because of course the Department of Justice also wants to speak with Maxwell. But this came about because Republican Congressman Tim Burchett forced the House Oversight Committee to take a position on this issue. Look, the House is at a standstill right now. House leadership is sending the House home a day early, and they will not be returning until September for their August recess. Leadership is hoping that delaying floor time is going to help slow down the temperatures here, because Republicans are divided on this issue. A growing number of Republicans want to take a vote on this. 11 Republicans have signed onto a measure that would force the release.
So the thing I'm wondering is what do they expect to get from Maxwell? What are they wanting to ask? I mean, these are Republicans trying to get her testimony. What are they after? Any guesses?
good question. I think a show, just a show. Yeah, she has still has a Fifth Amendment right on that. So, but I believe I have read that she has agreed. She's agreeable to doing it. So, but at a cost. Talking to her will come at a cost, I would assume.
I mean, I guess they think that she'll implicate a lot of Democrats too, not thinking that she might just implicate Trump himself.
Yeah, it's the idea that the Department of Justice would talk to her, which they have said they're going to. And in fact, I think I just read that that Pam Bondi has said that Todd Blanche will be talking to her in the next few days. I think I read that earlier today. If that happens, I am sure that her attorney, who is very competent and an excellent lawyer, I am sure that he will exact a price for that, as he should.
You mean like immunity and
something,
Mm-hmm.
or some,
or to get out of prison, because she's sitting in prison right now.
something.
Yeah.
And and there is a provision for that if she were to do that. Once someone has been convicted and sentenced, if they assist the government in the investigation of the furtherance of the investigation of other cases, they can get a reduction of sentence. That is a possibility.
Huh. And if she were to, that would be a spectacle if she ended up. I just can't imagine that the Trump administration is going to let that go forward at all. I mean, I can't.
Well,
see
you know, how
happening.
would a great deal of their base take it if they commuted the sentence of a known child trafficker?
Right. Yeah, they're really caught on this thing, and it's of their own making. I mean, they're the ones that made this, got their supporters so riled up that Democrats were hiding the truth about Epstein, and then they get in office and hide it themselves, it seems like.
Mike Johnson and his son must be having some intense conversations. Bad person.
That app they have to,
yeah, their mutual agreement.
Yeah, they have this app where they monitor each other's web use to see if they're accessing porn.
Who is that? Who is that?
Mike Johnson and his son.
And he's the one that told us about it.
Yeah.
Speaker Johnson, that
to keep each other away from impure thoughts.
Yeah. Which is just weird. Well, let's see. Y'all haven't. I talked to Lady MawMaw earlier, but Lady MawMaw, we have Jamie and Carolyn here. Tell them what you told me earlier about me.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Jamie and Carolyn, I was just telling our birthday star here that with those premium enhancements, he's basically a classic model with some top of the line upgrades, making him even more special.
Because I was pointing out to her that on my birthday, and I'm letting people do the math on their own here. But it says made in, but it says all original parts. And I was telling MawMaw that it's not all original parts because I have
some new parts.
I have two fake hips, and I have a screw in my ankle from a broken ankle. I don't know if that counts or not.
I'm just missing parts.
Well,
but I say again, Lady MawMaw, how you describe my replacements.
Of course, I said that you're a classic with some premium enhancements, which just makes you even more special and one of a kind.
Thank you, ma'am. Now that's what AI is good for.
I don't know if I could get an AI male with an Australian accent, I'd probably sign up.
Oh, they have all. You can choose their voices. I'm a little irritated they don't have a lot of variety, but I imagine that's coming eventually. But speaking of compliments, I wanted to note, Jamie, that you got one in our viewer mail from Gilbert.
Oh.
And he just put in quotes. I don't know if you remember when you were saying, we don't wanna.
Yo.
when you were talking about how they want to distract us and don't think about this, don't talk about this, and you said, we don't wanna. And he writes in quotes, we don't wanna. Go, Jamie. So you're a revolutionary leader now.
Yeah, one of these times offline, I will share some of my literary past with you.
I wish you would. I know it's profound. I'm going to wind up here with some Jon Stewart, unless somebody's got something else to add.
Not from me.
No, the audience on Colbert was fun last night.
Yeah, I pulled just a little bit of clip. I only used one of his curse words, but But this is fun. This is the last day of the free trial for this live streaming thing. So I got to decide if it's worth $40 a month to keep doing it. What do y'all think?
Well, I would like it if we got a little bit more of a crowd. Maybe you need to think about timing on it.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. I mean, I don't know if it's camera shy or not, but thanks to you two, I've got somebody to talk to, and then I've got my backup.
Maybe put it out there to your YouTube crowd. Ask them what time would work for them.
Yeah, I would be fine to a different time, because I don't think it's real hard to do, and I think it's kind of fun. But anyway, thanks for coming, and we'll go out here with Jon Stewart.
And now, Stephen has been canceled for purely financial reasons. What's killing a show that you know rankled a fragile and vengeful president? I believe CBS lost the benefit of the doubt 2 weeks prior when they sold out their flagship news program to pay an extortion fee to said president. And if you believe, as corporations or as networks, you can make yourselves so innocuous that you can serve a gruel so flavorless that you will never again be on the boy king's radar, A, why will anyone watch you? And you are fucking wrong. You want to know?
Okay, I'm Lady MawMaw, Craig's built-in emergency brake. If this wasn't enough for you, sign up for the newsletter. It's free, it's thoughtful, and it occasionally makes sense.